What's going on, y'all? My name is Michael Petty, and I came across this video from the Plain Bagel. And I titled this, Is Passive Income Real? So we're going to see what he has to say, and I'm going to explain to you how in the company that I promote, how it can be real.
Passive income, the holy grail of personal finance topics. The ability to earn money without doing anything. It quite literally doesn't get any better than that, does it? And it's something that you'll see video after video and ad after ad talking about, pushing the idea that millionaires earn 7 different streams of income, so should you. There's just one problem. Passive income doesn't exist.
Now, in the nutshell, I agree with him in the whole, in everything together, because passive income, meaning you're making money without doing anything at all. Well, in order to make passive income, you have to set something up in order to make that passive income. So, and he's right in that sense that you don't have to do anything in passive income, but there is a form of passive income that is real, and I'm going to cover that in a little bit.
Really, anyway. There are, of course, ways of making money that deviate from your standard 9 to 5, where time spent working and compensation have a pretty linear relationship. But the vast majority of the so-called passive income strategies that you see advertised online, especially here on YouTube, are at best misrepresented and at worst completely fabricated to prey on the financially desperate.
Now, that is something that a lot of people do. They do prey on the financially desperate. They prey on the people who are broken, who don't have the money, who maybe have $500 in their savings and the course costs $500. So they're saying, well, you need to take that $500, invest it over here. We're going to show you how to do it more, how to grow it more. What I like to say is if you don't have the money, if you're struggling right now, don't join my opportunity. Go get a part-time job. You got Uber, you got DoorDash, Instacart. Find ways to make additional money. Then once you have additional money, you got some money saved up, okay, now you want to jump into instant income with Exitus Elite, making $100 to $2,000 in commissions. Now let's look into what I'm going. Now go to the description, click on the link and check out what we're doing. But if you're struggling right now, don't take action. Get some money up, save money first, work hard. Then once you get settled, because I don't want you to make emotional decisions, because you got to make logical decisions. Because we're talking about if you decide to go big, $2,000, $23.99 to get started one time, no monthly fees, no yearly fees, and you can earn unlimited. But it still has to be a logical thing, because I don't want you to take advantage and have buyer's remorse. I want you to be in a position where you can think logically through this. Okay, so if you don't have any money, don't do anything, get a job, work part-time. When you get the money, then you start looking at opportunities.
Now, it's not to say that some of these strategies don't have their merits. Well, I don't like the term passive income. Some of these things might make you money over time.
Personally, I love the term passive income. And let me go ahead and just say it. And what we do, for example, there's 5 ways we can make money, 5 packages we can buy. We can position ourselves for $100 commissions, $250, $500, $1,000, $2,000, right? So the way I can make a passive income, if someone decides to jump in and say, listen, I want to start off at the $100 level. They pay the $49 admin fee and they pay the $100 to buy the package, okay? The $100 comes to me, right? And let's say they go out there, they start marketing, they start sharing opportunity. If someone that they introduce this thing to say, I want to make $2,000. Now I have nothing to do with that sale. They make a $2,000 sale. Remember, they came in at the $100 level, so they're going to get their $100, but the $1,900 is going to get passed up to me. Now, in a sense, that's passive on the work. I didn't do that sale, right? But it's also not passive because I did do the sale to position myself to earn that, if that makes sense.
But for the ones that sound too good to be true, where you quite literally don't have to put in any effort, you're often more likely to lose money when you consider the fees and registration costs that you're being charged to even try this thing. So let's break down why passive income isn't all that promising, but why you keep hearing about it on today's Plain Bagel. Passive income is usually used to reference an income stream that is somewhat self-sustaining, in that once you set it up, it doesn't necessarily require your active involvement. meaning that you can have more time to yourself to hang by the poolside or play video games or do whatever you want. But outside the lottery or a lucky inheritance, there's not really such a thing as passive income.
You hear a lot of things about passive income to MLM companies, right? And the idea is to build your income up to where you can live on the beach and you can take vacation, you can do all these things. But one thing that they don't say is the retention rate. And based on how much you make, let's say you earn, let's say $50 per person, and you want to make a $5,000 per month residual income, right? If you earn $50 per person, that's 100 people. Well, Mike, you got people that's down to the line, but understand, even when you pay downline, the percentage goes lower, right? And you still have to understand this. If that last row, the last people inside, they doing something, they don't make any money, if they're not convicted in the product itself and they're in it to make money, they're going to quit. That's why selling a product is a lot more powerful than talking about income. People already know you can make income, but how do you do that? How do you build the team, right? What strategies you do? Here's the simplicity, right? I'm just going to tell you the honest truth. It's about a person make the decision. I want to join this particular company. I want to sell this product. I want to use this product so I can be a product of the product, be a testament of the product. I know it works. I believe in it. Then your conviction can come off correctly, come off right? Because you got people out here who are promoting something that don't believe in it. It can come off that way. I was doing that in the beginning. I was part of programs. I'm trying to promote it, made some sales, but I didn't fully believe in the product. I was in the product. I was selling coffee, and I really didn't drink coffee, but I'm selling coffee. Well, let me start drinking it. Make funny because I actually got my coffee here now. But I started drinking coffee, and I enjoyed it. So I was like, okay, now I can feel better about selling the coffee. But I was inside. It was inside of an MLM opportunity. And they preached about the cost of coffee over here compared to how we have it over here. And then I really started paying attention, like, okay, that'll make sense because I can go up the street to the gas station, get it for $1.60. I can go over here to McDonald's and get it for $1, but my thing costs $1. Well, you got to understand the health benefits to it. Okay, who's drink coffee for health benefits? Coffee itself has health benefit. Then you got to think, it has this product inside that's supposed to give you extra benefits. But how much of it is in the actual product, right? We don't know. We just know it's in there, but how much of it? Ain't no percentage saying how much of it. So you hear that, and I got to the point I was like, I didn't feel right. The way it was presented, I didn't want to sell it that way because I didn't believe in it myself. So I was like, I can't do this. So make a long story short, selling that, I was actually inside of another product. It was a woman's product where my wife and my daughter was using that company went out of business because they were going strong. They joined another company, added some other product, and they just gone, just disappeared out of nowhere, right? And so I was like, man, I got tired of those companies, so I took a step back and actually came across Exitus, and that's the company I promote now. Links in the description. I'm home. Going on for, I think, since 2014, so it's a 12-year-old company. Great ownership, great support. The system is fantastic. It comes with everything you need, lead capture pages, autoresponder. It actually has a sales team help you close your sales. Great opportunity. And I actually forgot the point I was making, so let's get back to the video.
At least in that truest sense. Instead, when people say passive income, they're really referring to one of two things: investment income or entrepreneurial income. Now, certainly, there's nothing wrong with these approaches, and they do change how your effort is rewarded, but they don't eliminate that effort requirement.
No matter what you do, you're always going to have to put in some effort. Always. Even crypto. You have to watch the pips. You have to sit there and watch it. It requires effort. And if you think that someone's going to do it for you, that's a lot of people get scammed that way, right? So just be careful at those type of things, but everything requires you to do some form of work. Just can't forget that.
Very easy explanation as to why anything that promises a high reward without any effort is, in most cases, a gimmick.
I agree. Now we're talking about $2,000 commissions, right? That's what I promote. You have to do something. You have to get on the phone and talk with people. You have to build a connection with someone, because ain't nobody just giving away $1,000, $2,000 to somebody they don't know, somebody they don't trust, or somebody they know nothing about. Okay. Now it's different if you have a product you're selling, they buying that particular product. But guess what you do? Do you go online, see the product, and buy it? No, you do your vetting. You make sure it's real. Or you go to a company that you absolutely know is real, and you're going to get it from there, right? So it's all about trust and belief.
Still, there are some ventures advertised online that allegedly let you set up some sort of self-sustaining business that doesn't require any amount of effort, something that you can set up and leave to its own devices to earn you money. This includes your drop shipping stores, ad placement strategies, selling digital products, content creation, and convoluted pyramid schemes that promise you financial freedom if you get 3 other suckers to pay for the program that you just sunk a few $1,000s into yourself. Now, as someone who makes money from YouTube, obviously, I'll concede that there's merit to some of these strategies. Some of these strategies can make you money. With digital products, for example, the idea is that once you create this thing of value and put it on the internet, you can sell it and keep making money for it over time. And there's some truth and validity to that strategy.
And that's what I'm into. Online courses is digital products. Exitus Elite is online courses that have digital ebooks you can download, but it's video and audio courses that teach us training, mindset, marketing, personal development, and that's what it's about, right? And it's different products. Of course, if you buy the highest product at the G2000, you get everything. You get the 1,000, 250, 500, and 1,000. But if you get the 1,000, then you get everything lower. So come in as high as possible, get everything. Oh, and if you make the decision that you want to upgrade, right? You want to go from the, let's say, 500 to the 1,000. You don't have to buy the 1,000. You want to pay the 500, the difference. And that's in the admin fee and in the product. And you're there. So the max is $23.99 to be all in, and you're done. And you're not going to have to pay more than that, because it's one time, no yearly fees, no monthly fees, and you get to pick how you get paid inside the company: PayPal, cash, Zelle. You have a decision that gives you multiple ways for you to get your money, and it's instant commissions. You make a sale today, within minutes, that money is in your account. You can go have some fun with it.
It doesn't require the same type of maintenance as a traditional business. But the idea is that to get to that point where you have this thing of value, you oftentimes still require a good amount of effort, among other things. And there's a very easy explanation as to why the promise of high returns with low effort with some of these strategies doesn't hold any water.
And I agree. It really doesn't hold any water, because it takes a lot of effort. It does. If it was that easy, you can just make a few posts on Facebook and that's it. You can do a couple of videos on YouTube. Hey, boom, now you got money coming in. You have to constantly get yourself and get your message out there in front of people on an everyday basis, which is why I like YouTube. You can cut a video once, and then years later, months later, days later, let's switch that around: days, year, months. Days, months, years, right? People can find your video and decide, I like this, let me take a look at it. And that's why I like to stick and stay instead of jumping from company to company, because 5 years from now, somebody might see this video and say, I want to make $2,000 commissions. But if I'm promoting something else and they try to jump in, well, Exitus Elite, you always in anyway. You're in for life, that's it. But I don't want to confuse a person, and I'm promoting this, or I'm focusing on this, and they come to me and say, hey, I want to know about Exitus Elite, and I got to go back to that and forget the focus I'm doing on here. No, that's why I stick and stay. Exitus Elite is home for me. I'm not a jumper. Look for someone who's stable, I'm your guy.
Dropshipping, for example. The basic idea of dropshipping is that you build a storefront online that sells products manufactured and shipped by a third party, so that you can earn a markup without dealing with any of the logistics. The basic setup can take just a few hours and likely costs under $500 to get set up with a web domain or online storefront. Perhaps even less if you use a site like Amazon to sell your product, or a service such as Teespring, where you can design your own shirts and sell through their website.
Just real quick, you have Teespring, you have Custom Cats, and you also have Printify, where you can design your own t-shirts and sell through them. I know that Printify has a online pop-up store where you get a link and then you can buy a domain, or if you have a blog or something, you can link it to that. link it, and then they click on that link and they're taken to that pop-up store.
After that, you won't need to sit at a cash register or stock any shelves to make any type of sale. And it's all pretty well automated for you. Awesome. So what's the catch to this low effort and low cost strategy? Well, just that, ironically. Because of how easy it is for an individual to set up a store and dropship something as novel as a fancy coffee mug, you can bet that there will be thousands of others doing the exact same thing, possibly with the exact same product.
This is absolutely true, right? And this one thing that stands out to me about Exitus Elite. Yeah, there may be a lot of people inside of Exitus Elite, but in a company like that, it's pretty much wide open to compare to, as you see on the screen, look how many people are selling this type of product compared to getting inside of a program that, yes, a lot of people are in, but people buy from people. If a person says, I want a wolf cup, it's all about going in here, finding the actual product and just buying it. But if you knew somebody that was on Amazon, you knew them specifically, hey, I'm selling this product, or what's your store, that can give you a direct link. Because a lot of times when people go on Amazon, they're looking for a product. They might not necessarily know someone who's on there. What they're going to do, they're going to scroll, find the $15.99 and make sure it's actually what they're supposed to get compared to what, $26. If it's the same, go for the 15, save some money, right? But Exitus Elite, it's about who you building that connection with. Who's going to give you some information that you can use? Who using a strategy that you say, I can do that. That seems simple. Not easy, but simple.
In an insurmountable supply of novelties when there are probably 10 people out there who actually want this thing. But then, Richard, why are some people successful using these strategies? Why do we have any case example of Jimmy making 10 grand a week thanks to him signing up for so-and-so's course on YouTube? Well, personally, I want to address that most case examples shown in these ads are incredibly biased and shouldn't be relied upon. And the people who take the route of showing individual success stories rather than showing the strategy success rate at a high statistical level probably have thousands of other students who fail to break even using their...
I understand that everybody's trying to make money online. And you already know you can make money online, right? I just told you in Exitus, you can make $100 to $2,000, but how do you get there? The simplicity is, let me tell you what I did. I saw Exitus Elite, I was already interested. I already knew I wanted to get into the opportunity. And I already knew that I wanted to get into G2000, the highest level. You didn't have to sell me on that. At this point, it's like, okay, cool. Who do I trust? Because it was about 3 people. One person reached out to me, and like, I said about 4 altogether. It was 3 or 4 people I was actually paying attention to that all promoted Exitus. And one person actually reached out to me and had a conversation about it. One thing I don't want to do is I don't want to reach out to anybody to try to sell on something I think they might want. You know what I'm saying? Now, I never showed interest into Exitus Elite to this particular person who reached out to me, right? But I knew I was interested. But there's one individual who I seen do about 2 YouTube videos a week, right? And I'm looking at his style. He just talked about himself, what he's into, and that was it. And I'm like, I can do that. I'm doing that now, right? And I was like, boom. That's what I want to look into. So as soon as I was able to, saved up the money, because I got a full-time job, still do. My goal ain't to really become full-time online. And, you know, my goal is to support my family, take care of my family. Like, I'm 48 years old, we're about to turn 48. I'm still young. The job I have, I like it. I'm actually bothered today because I had to call in because my back is sore. And I lay on the floor for a little bit, get tired of laying on the floor. I'm getting bored. I say that's a great time to do a video, so that's why I'm doing the video now. But my idea is, I went in on the 4th of July, plus I've been off. And it goes from Saturday to Friday as a pay scale. So my idea was, let me get some overtime. So what bothered me, I can't go in because the whole purpose of me going in Saturday was to get overtime. So I pretty much just switched my days around, pretty much, right? But yeah, so it's all about the connection. And the person I joined got his phone number. We are in a private chat, not just me and him, but it's like a few other people, which you get access to if you come at the G1000, G2000. You can enter that chat with us, my sponsor, Matthew, Quincy, Victor, myself, Sean. A lot of individuals are in there who've been doing this opportunity for long. Sean, Matthew, and I, all Exitus Elite, right? You really don't see us promoting anything else outside of Exitus Elite. So if you got any questions, you can definitely get that answer from us.
If you think there'd be demand for an online course or an ebook on a subject that you happen to be an expert in, I actually say go for it. You might just happen to make some money along the way of pursuing your passion in this venture. But my point is that you need to go into it eyes open. Passive income really just means front-loading your work, not eliminating it. And the vast majority of strategies do require some form of continued effort to sustain the money that you're making.
Understand what I said earlier. It's about getting your voice and getting your face out there and getting your message out there to people every day. Every day.
You get out what you put in, and your success will be a function of your application, opportunity, and most importantly, your effort.
Now let me tell you, when I mentioned Sean, I mentioned Matthew, and I mentioned myself, we all use videos to get our message out there. It's something about hearing a person's face. It's all about hearing the person's voice and seeing the person's face. And you connect that person to the company. So when you hear about the company, you think about that person, that's branding and that's strength. I appreciate you for taking the time to watch this video. My name is Michael Petty. See you in the next video.